Sherry, let's turn to you. How does the criminal justice system undermine the dignity of Black women?
Thank you for having me. I would say the criminal justice system indignifies the Black woman by not really taking her needs into account. I think the typical African-American woman is viewed as angry, the angry Black woman with baby mama drama. So no one thinks to really listen to what her needs are. And when you're incarcerated, you're in a place that typically does not listen, and you have specific needs that are not met in terms of sanitation or sanitary products not being distributed or given, and having to walk around like that or rely on the other ladies in the facility. And I would say that in my time, and I met a lot of women, and most of them were very positive. I didn't meet any angry Black women. I met a few with some drama, but not particularly. It was very positive women trying to help and uplift each other. Like, we have to stick together here. You need this, I'll give it to you. So I think that's one of the, I think that's what's most powerful being heard.
At Free Cyntoia Brown, she posted a side-by-side image of Cyntoia and Brock Turner, who we know was sentenced for 6 months after he raped an intoxicated woman. And Cyntoia Brown, she was defending herself against a predator after she was sold into sex slavery. Meanwhile, she got 51 years. Guys, what do you think about that?
White privilege is a hell of a thing.
It is. It's real. Yeah. It shows even how you were saying that, you know, Black women are looked at differently. Like, even in schools, Black girls are going to be charged more harshly, like penalized. It's just, you look at Cyntoia, she was labeled like as a prostitute in the media, sex worker. I'm like, this girl was underage. Yeah. This was absolutely pedophilia, a predator. Yeah. 51 years versus 6 months. And Brock Turner was like, people said, oh, he's a young man with he has a great future ahead of him. Yes. Cyntoia doesn't deserve to have a great future.
And when we are convicted, we're jailed at unfair rates. A study by the Institute of Women's Policy Research reveals that Black women and girls are traditionally over-sentenced for crimes that they may commit. And then we also can't ignore the fact that a lot of Black women are subjected to emotional and physical abuse in their communities. And that makes them at-risk populations for committing some crimes. And whereas white populations, they may get counseling, rehabilitation, we just get sent to prison. And there's not this kind of, okay, let's help them work through these issues. Instead, they just package them up and ship them to jail. And that is completely unfair to our communities.
Like Karen mentioned, in most cases, women are trying to support themselves and their family. There's a large percentage of women who are single mothers. I'm fortunate to have a significant other that supports me and supported me when I was behind the walls, but most women don't have that. So they're forced to take care of their children alone. And so when you're forced to take care of your children alone, you don't have the type of credentials that you need in order to access a job that's a livable wage, and that's the type of wages that you can take your family on vacations and, you know, enroll your kids in extracurricular activities. You tend to find some non-traditional ways to make money. And that's, unfortunately, that's what I had to do. I had to find some untraditional ways to supplement my income because I had a large income. I mean, you know.
When we talk about why Black women and girls are in the system, we start asking questions starting at why their punishment is more harsh than others. And I think we really have to talk about why women are even entering the system at such an alarming rate. And when it comes to Black women, we really have to talk about and think very deliberately and intentionally about how other communities view Black women, and how many times how society views a particular segment of the community is going to determine how they feel they should respond to the community. And so we find in the Black community that many times the responses to our actions or behaviors that may come across as aggressive or hostile, right? Many of these stereotypical handles and names that we hear to describe Black women, right? The response to that is the criminalization of the Black female, just like we've seen the criminalization of the Black male, right? We take resources and support out of our communities, right? And then get upset when they react in a very traumatized manner. And instead of responding in a way that actually deals with the trauma that comes from this lack of investment and support, we then criminalize them. And so for Black women, and there are studies that have come out, I believe there was one that came out at the beginning of this year, where overwhelmingly Black women and girls were seen as being more aggressive and hostile and angry than even Black males, right? And so when we're dealing with these dynamics and within this context, then it explains why we have so many women that are going in and why so many Black women are facing harsher punishments and at an alarming rate, because we're looking at them as if, you know, you are just so overly emotional and unstable and so angry and aggressive that you need to go into a cell, and that, a cell, is gonna calm you down and help you figure it out. So, I mean, Nicole, I don't...
No. Yeah.
I was sentenced to 2.5 years for a marijuana charge. When you go back into society, you have to start all over again. So many things has changed, you have to catch up with the times.
My son and my daughter, they was like 5 and 7, and when I come home, they was like 24, 27 years old. It was scary learning how to adjust back out in society, but I haven't been in no other kind of trouble at all.
I was incarcerated for 25 years. Nothing takes the actual pain away from doing the time. It hurts. It really hurts. It messes you up. It's still hard, I'm still struggling, but I'm free.
But now, the U.S. locks more people up than any other country. More than 2 million Americans are in jails or prisons here, and more than 200,000 of those prisoners are female. Amna Nawaz takes a closer look at the conditions faced by women behind bars.
Judy, nearly 30% of all incarcerated women worldwide are in the United States, and the number of women in U.S. prisons has risen more than 700% in the last 40 years. With that increase came a recognition that men and women in custody have different needs. Now, earlier this year, the Department of Justice's Inspector General conducted a review of how the Federal Bureau of Prisons handles female inmates. Leaders from both organizations testified today on Capitol Hill, where Democrats and Republicans expressed concerns about prison conditions. The report, released in September, made several recommendations. Among them, provide better training for staff on the needs of women and trauma victims. More than 85% of women in prison reported some physical or sexual trauma in their lifetime. Increase awareness of pregnancy programs for inmates. Just 37% of pregnant inmates participate in these programs. And increase access to feminine hygiene products.
Sister, you have the mic.
They're dying inside. What does society look on us women as base? They don't know our lives. So how can you condemn a woman just taking her to court and on behalf of the witnesses condemn a woman? You know, how can society done such an ugly thing to us? That's my question.
Thank you. I think Sister, you are serving a life term. And what is the crime that you are charged with? Murder. And who is it alleged or you're convicted of murdering? Who? Her common law husband?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have children from that man?
No, sir.
Did you have children?
Yes, sir.
What happened that you felt the need to kill him.
Before everyone in here, I know what I have done, and God knows it, that he has done something he shouldn't have done. He raped the child.
Thank you. Thank you.
Raised together from
I understand.
From 8 months. Come on. We raised that child as our own.
Sister.
What gives him the right to touch her?
Come. Now, come stand with me. To the sisters that are here, sometimes you have children that are very beautiful, and you think you need a man in your life, and you take a man into your home, and he rapes your child. To any judge that is listening, what is the nature of a mother? It is to protect the child that she brings into this world. And brothers, when a man violates a child or a woman and takes from her what she does not wish to give, in our world, that's punishable by death. You have grandchildren now?
And I'm going for my appeal sometime this month. I'm going back to court.
She's going back to court this month for her appeal. I pray that God will touch the heart of any judge that hears her cry. The nature of the female is to protect, defend, and give her life for the protection of her children. A bear grabbed a woman's child in America, and that woman ran that bear down and made that bear give her back her child. Phenomenal courage because of the love that's in the heart of a mother for what she produces. And I'm telling you, brothers, misusing women in our world is punishable by death. Because when you destroy a woman by raping her, you have literally destroyed something in her that even the man that comes into her life, she can never give herself fully to that man because that man mistreated her. May I know who the judge is, and I will write a letter to the judge on your behalf, and may God bless you and bring you back home to your children. It's my honor to meet you. No, I heard you loud and clear. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Steve Muhammad, and I'm the president of Knowledge for Life. Knowledge for Life is a non-profit 501c3 organization that brings relevant news and information to the Black community via multimedia. We stream what's called Knowledge Cipher Conference Series once a month. These conference series bring together some of the brightest minds in the Black community, Black professionals, activists, and artists on a panel discussion to discuss issues impacting the Black community. We're on our fundraising drive and we would really appreciate your support. This support will help us to build our new website that will archive the Knowledge for Life Knowledge Cipher Conference Series. They will also house our blog. You will be able to purchase tickets there for upcoming events. Also on the page, we will have links to articles, to information that is relevant to the panel discussion. With your support, we can do this.